Okay, now we're back working on the deck adapter. We're trying to get this mounted to my mower deck. This little sheet metal thing is my portable welding booth for right now. But to try to get this bracket, I can't use the bracket that comes with it because of the structure that's welded on the top of this deck. This deck is not like a typical mower deck that is stamped. This deck is too thick of steel. You cannot stamp these. These are what they called fabricated decks. They start out with a thick sheet of flat steel. They cut it in the shape they want it. They break or bend the sides down. And when they bend the end down, they leave it long and they wrap it around the side and it's all welded. These decks are almost indestructible. You take care of them, they will last forever. But this deck did not come with my Ingersoll tractor. I had to buy this deck just so I could put the bagger on it that I found. They don't make any longer. And this deck alone was $1,750 brand new. But like the old saying is, you get what you pay for. Now to get this thing mounted on here, I've not cut the hole yet. I've got it marked out. I'm trying to build a bracket that will use these eyes that the deflector mounted on. So I made up a pattern out of tempered hardboard, and I used my glue gun to put it together with, because I had to pop a few things apart and reassemble it to get it to fit right. So once I got that the way I wanted, I'll take these bolts out over here. I went to my little pile of steel that I have, and I picked out a piece of 3/16 thick sheet steel. That is strong enough you could walk on it and it's not going to hurt it. So I turned the pattern into this. Now the sides are welded on permanently. I've got holes in them so I can put a couple bolts through the side. I've got the mounting holes drilled, and I just tack welded these hinges, I guess you could call them, onto the flat stock. I do have the thing drilled and had it bolted on here. It fits perfect. Then I went over to the father-in-law's machine. He has an identical tractor and deck. Fits on his perfect. So now what I got left to do is actually weld these brackets on instead of just tacking them on. We're going to do that right now. I hope you can hear over the running of the welder, but as I was walking around here, I bumped the camera somehow and it shut off. So I took the advantage of getting ready to weld this. It's kind of up in the air. I normally don't have it this high, but we'll see what happens. Well, we'll shut that off. Take off my goofy little hat. You almost have to wear them. The welding helmet protects your face. It doesn't protect the hair on the top of your head. And I don't think I want to burn any more off than I've already lost. Shut that thing off. Now, usually when I get done welding, I always stay here for about an hour because this is a wood shop and I'm eventually going to be welding in the lean-to, and I don't really want to start any fires. So I'll stick around for a little while and make sure none of these sparks went anywhere. Then I'll run down to the shop, sandblast this, and get it painted, and it will be done. So I guess I'll probably do a video of actually running the machine once the leaves start coming down to show you how well these work. There's a lot of them on the market. They probably all work about the same, but they hook up differently. Most of them hook up like a trailer and it flexes behind your machine. They're hard to back up, and you have this overly long hose because when you turn to the left, this hose has to stretch from the machine to the unit. These machines hook solid to the back of your unit. They do not flex. So you can have a short, straighter hose and you have much less problems with it ever plugging up. Now, how well do they work? It all depends on how well your lawnmower picks up debris you're running over. If you were using a snapper, it would look like a carpet cleaner went over your lawn sucking up the leaves. How well these Ingersoll's suck up? Not as well as a snapper, but better than most. So I guess in about a month or two, we'll find out how well this thing actually works, sucking up leaves. And in my usual attire, I have on one of Eric's shirts he gave me from Dick Dykehouse and Company. They're a tool supplier for industrial, and they sell all kinds of stuff. Check them out online. This is a promotion he's having where if you got his shirt on and a coffee cup and you take a picture of yourself at deer camp or out with a deer, you get your name in for a drawing. But won't really go into too much of detail on that because you don't have a shirt or a coffee cup. Back to this build. Get my kneeling pad over here. I got the deck adapter done. I got it cut out. Can't really see that. I got it so you can flip it up and mow with it because my father-in-law and I don't use the side discharge covers. They're always in the way. And it flips down and it's mounted solid. Finally, that's finished. I really like the way it came out. It fits on both decks, his and mine next door. The machines are pretty much identical. What's he got? Wow. He's got 1,750 hours on this thing. Mine's got is a lot newer, but it's got almost 1,000 hours on it because the man I bought it from snowblowed his driveway and 3 other neighbors. So he used his year around. I have the snowblower, a blade, and a rototiller. So when I made the bracket for the machine to hook up to, I utilized what they call a sleeve hitch. That's what this is. And it's hydraulically raised and lowered. Right now it's clamped solid so it won't move. This I built. This I overbuilt. It's pretty much 1/2 inch thick and 5/16 thick steel. It slides on here. You drop these 2 pins in here. And on his machine, it's a little harder. You can see there's a piece of square tubing welded in here. Mine does not have that. And there's 4 1/2 inch bolts on the inside that push out on this bracket so it's not wiggly. It locks it against these 2 pins and it's solid. That's how the rototiller hooks up. Now to hook up the Cyclone, we're going to shove this thing back. His doesn't weigh quite as much as mine does. I have my tires loaded for traction because I use it to pull my trailer out behind my building full of firewood. And it doesn't get good traction in all the pine needles. So I loaded the tires and I shot the weight of my machine up to a little over 1,000 pounds. This has a single cylinder 14 horse Kohler. Mine has a twin cylinder 16 horse Owen engine. And it's not a V, it's a opposed engine where the pistons run side to side. And it is so smooth, it's just unreal. So this goes up on here. I should have turned this a little bit. Might as well hook this up. Get the crank down. And we'll crank this wheel up so it's actually sitting on the hitch. There's a couple hairpins that go in the bottom of these pins so they don't come out on you. And then we got to hook the hose up. We might as well do that. I want to take a minute to let you know that we're going to give away this dipstick endoscope at the end of this month, October 31st, 2023. You can win this simply by sending me an email to jimsfixitshop@gmail.com with your name and phone number and title it Endoscope. That's all you have to do. Now, back to the video. Well, come on. Them are some stiff snaps. But that's it. It's done. Now I keep bumping this camera and it keeps shutting off. I'm going to try to pick it up. Them hoses over here, one of them, you might be able to tell. This one down here with the chute on it, that goes in place of this on the machine. It turns sideways, it has 15 feet of hose, and you can blow the leaves out into the woods if you don't have a place to just dump them, which I don't. The other hose, this part hooks to the blower. I can't tell what you're looking at. And this wand over here is what you use in your flower beds or around your yard. I'm gonna set this up here on this seat. I can't figure out why every time I just bump this thing, it shuts off. I'll have to look into that. But it's done. Now what I gotta do is wait for all them stupid leaves to come down. So the next time I do something on this, we'll be out sucking leaves. And again, these machines, this thing has a tremendous vacuum. It's gonna suck up anything that gets close to that chute. The better they work is gonna be depending on how good your machine and the deck sucks up leaves. These decks are not the best. I've had a lot of trouble with mine. While you're driving, it tends to blow the leaves out in front of the deck. I don't know if his is like that. You know, his doesn't have a cutout. Mine has a cutout in the front of the deck where they cut up about 1.5 inches to make a bigger opening, I guess, for the leaves to go into. Which is fine, except it tends to blow them out in front of you, which that's not what you want. So we'll see how this deck works compared to mine, and I may end up welding a piece of steel back in there to make it like his. We'll find out what happens. So all I got really left to do is tighten up them 2 bolts back here to lock the hitch to the sleeve hitch on the tractor, and this will be completely ready to go. I do have to check the blades to make sure that they're in good shape and they have a good lift. These are the blades I took off the zero turn. We need new ones on that. I sharpened and put our last good set on it. When we wear them out, you're gonna have to buy new blades. That lift is important if you want to have a nice clean yard when you get done vacuuming. So I guess that's it. Until next time, work safe, have fun, and we'll talk to you soon. So long.